The LNAT is not a test of general knowledge or reading speed. It is a test of rigorous, analytical logic, deliberately filled with traps. So how do you spot them before they cost you marks? Here is the key. The examiners design the Section A options to intentionally mislead anyone who skims the text or leans on outside knowledge. Recognizing these recurring distractor patterns is the single fastest way to lift your score. The most frequent trap is the almost right answer, also called a matter of degree. An option correctly reflects the author's general sentiment but pushes the language too far, or waters it down too much. Imagine the author says, a policy is likely to cause moderate disruption. The trap option claims it will inevitably lead to economic collapse. The direction is right, but the degree is completely unsupported by the text. To spot this, watch for absolute modifiers. Words like always, never, must, impossible, and inevitable are huge red flags. Unless the author explicitly uses those absolutes, an option containing them is almost certainly wrong. The second trap is outside knowledge. The LNAT treats each passage as a closed universe, testing only your comprehension of the text in front of you, not your knowledge of the wider world. Picture a passage on climate change. An option states that carbon emissions have risen by 40% since 1990. You read that in the news last week, so you pick it. You lose the mark because the author never stated it. To spot this, ask a simple question. Can I point to the exact sentence in this text that proves the option? Even if the passage claims the sky is green, you must answer as though it truly is. The third trap is correlation versus causation. A fallacy examiners love in sociology, economics, and science passages. Ice cream sales rise in summer, and so do shark attacks, but one does not cause the other. To spot this, scrutinize the author's exact phrasing. Did they claim a direct mechanism of cause and effect, or did they merely observe that two things overlap in time, never upgrade an observation into a cause? The fourth trap is the scope shift. An option references a real detail from the passage, then quietly broadens or narrows the context in a way the author never authorized. For example, the author argues that tax cuts for small businesses in London stimulated local growth. The trap claims the author believes national tax cuts are best for the whole economy. The scope has illicitly widened. To spot this, pay close attention to the boundaries of the argument. If the author writes only about medieval French history, an option that stretches their conclusion across all of European history should be eliminated at once. The final trap is answering the wrong question. An option can be entirely true, fully supported by the text, and still fail, simply because it does not address what the prompt actually asked. For instance, the question asks for the main purpose of the passage, but the trap option gives an accurate summary of just the third paragraph. It is true, yet it is not the main purpose, so always reread the question stem. You cannot memorize your way out of these traps. You must train your brain to spot them instinctively, under time pressure, using questions that faithfully mimic the examiner's logic across dozens of passages. That is exactly what high-volume, deliberate practice delivers. Try LawMint's free, full-length LNAT practice test at lawmint.uk to start recognizing these patterns for yourself today. You unlock the full series of 200 full-length tests featuring 8,400 multiple-choice questions. Every single question includes a detailed explanation of exactly why the trap options are wrong. Don't leave your law school application to chance. Head over to lawmint.uk to access 200 full-length tests with 8,400 multiple-choice questions. And don't forget to subscribe to @LNAT Prep on YouTube for more.